Misfits for a Thursday evening. Pugs and Parker. Hi. Pugs Moran. He's James Parker. Or dare I call him this evening? Who do we have this evening with us? Robin Cocklord. Nope, that was wrong. Robin Colcord.
Yeah, if you take away the caption, it shows our names.
Okay. All right, very cool.
You remember the name Robin Colcord?
I do not. What is that from? Is that a reference? I just, sometimes I don't get your references. You don't get mine.
That was the second absurdly rich guy that Rebecca Howe fell in love with on Cheers. Evan Drake was the first one.
Okay. Mine's got a TV theme too, but there's no way you could be expected to know what mine. Do you understand the TV connection?
Okay, so there's Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah. Right. So there's the base of the premise. All right.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going Shakespeare, like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead or something. So Morgenstern sounds like Guildenstern.
Nah, go to 1970 CBS TV. That's Rhoda Morgenstern. She was Mary Tyler Moore's best friend. She had her own show, Rhoda, played by Valerie Harper. Her dead father's name was Viggo Morgenstern. Thank you. It was a long way to go.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Her mom and Rhoda was are you old enough to remember the Bounty commercials with that pushy old broad who would be like, "It's the quicker picker upper"? She was Roz, the diner waitress. It's the quicker
maybe.
Yeah. Well, she did like the Bounty. It's the quicker picker. She was working in this. Seriously, she was working in this diner for like 30 years of American television. And anyway, that's Nancy Walker. She played Mama Morgenstern or whatever. All right. How are you today, James?
I'm fantastic. I guess E's not going to be with us.
Nah, he still has serious structural issues there out at the house. He's got water in the walls. Yeah. Let me show you. We didn't do a show last night because my son had a football game. So please allow me to share the final score.
Okay, look at this. Boom. I guess your kid was the visitors, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, they were mad too. They had to drive an hour in a hot air-conditioned bus, DFW. They drove from Plano, like East Plano, all the way to Hearst in rush hour traffic. They were mad when they got off the bus. Well, anyway, here's what's cool about it. See that score, 62-6?
Yeah.
All right, that's the final. Did you see the quarter?
I saw the halftime score because you posted that.
Yeah. Did you see the quarter here? 1:31 left in the game.
Third quarter.
The refs called the game after the third quarter. They were like, nope, because my kids' team had created another fumble and they had the ball like inside the 20 and were about to score again. And the quarter went, and then the refs all got together and waved the game off. It was humiliating for the other guys. For my kid, it was a good. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention about this. Never mind. All right, we can.
Well, look, to country folk, it's funny how y'all gripe about going to the other side of the Metroplex for a game.
Well, I mean, that's tough. That's tough in 107-degree temperature on school buses that don't have air conditioning through DFW traffic. There ain't nothing country about that.
Right. No, it's just
as it gets.
It is. It's super urban. Uh-huh. So, like tomorrow, Buck Tussle has an away game in Caddo Mills, which you don't have to know where that's at. Just know it's 2 hours away, and there ain't no direct road between here and Caddo Mills. So, yeah, it's funny how y'all are just 2 hours away, but so different. Just not in a bad way, just different.
So my son's team threw 2 games. They had their last practice game of the season was against the highly touted Highland Park, and they battled them to a 21-21 tie. So we didn't know what to think. We were like, are they good? I don't know. Highland Park is traditionally good, but who knows? Nobody's played yet this year. Mm-hmm. 21-21 didn't tell us anything. Then week one, they won 38-6. And we're like, but that still shouldn't tell us anything because what if that team sucks? You know what I mean? What if you just played, you got lucky in the first game of the year, you played a bad team, you ran up the score on them. But then this week they played another team and they won 62-8. James, my son's team threw 7 quarters because they weren't allowed to play an 8th. My son's team through 7 quarters has outscored the opposition 100-14. It's crazy.
That's wild.
I know.
Okay, so
anyway, it's so wild because he was winless last year. His team, the last 2 years of teams that he has been on, have only won 1 game in 2 years.
Oh,
So
that's
for him
awful.
to suddenly be on a team, it seems like it's good. Let me just tell you, for us parents in the stands who have been seeing each other in games for the last couple, this is fun for us because we were used to what we've become accustomed to being on the other end of that. But go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was going to shift to a story from Bug Tussle. You ready for this?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. Now the news likes to tell a story backwards, so I'll tell it forward up until I need the news. So there's an apartment complex in Houston that hires off-duty cops to work security detail. Pretty normal stuff. Okay, so there's this one guy who gets a job there from up here in Bug Tussle land. Now up here he's a cop, but for his second job, he goes down to this apartment complex in Houston and works security detail, and he's an off-duty cop. So some of his friends start working from the same tiny law enforcement town. It's not Bug Tussle. It's like 2 towns over. It's a place called Coffee City, and Coffee City is known as basically an oasis of liquor stores where the county line meets because it's on 155 coming out of a dry county into a wet county. So there's like a whole bunch of liquor stores there. There's a boat dock on Lake Palestine.
Probably some crime, some interesting,
It's
seedy
not too
crime.
bad. It's actually a really pleasant place because most of it's boathouses and most of it's
Well,
houses.
I was thinking more like organized crime. Like there may be some cocaine stash houses there, just because it sounds like it's sounds okay.
Maybe maybe it's I don't know. It's mostly people who want to live on Lake Palestine that live there, and then there's a bunch of liquor stores and pawn shops right there. So you're right. Maybe it does have a little tinge of methy, cokey
Not
goodness.
even just organized crime, money laundering, that kind of thing. I'm just saying. Continue. I'm riveted.
Okay, so
Hi, Hugh. Sorry,
Coffee City population 250, and so that's where this guy works. And the apartment manager notices that a bunch of the other guys that he's got to work with, hey, I know this other friend that wants to work security detail. If you got another shift, so there he has a whole bunch.
Can you hold on? I need to ask a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So this town of Coffee has 250 residents.
It's called Coffee City. It's both.
Coffee City. It's got 200 residents, 250, something like that. Okay. And they have a police force.
You're right. Questionable to begin with.
Okay. How many, and you say all the cops for the force are now working but something to do with this apartment complex. How many cops does a city of 250 people have is my question.
Okay. So you're right. You're so right to be questioning this because I come from a town that was 614 when I grew up, and I think it's 594 now, and we don't even have cops. You're
probably absorbed by the county, right? The county.
We are. Now the next town over, ARP, has like 1,000 people, and they do have cops. They only have 2 cop cars going at any time, but they actually have a police force. Like, and then there's another town, Winona, that's like 2,000 people, and it doesn't have a police force. So you're right. A 250 population town has a police force. Multiple policemen. So
hold on. So here, this leads to my point where the minute you said that it was kind of a red light city in the middle of this dry county, it's got liquor and it's got some shady things. So that leads me to believe that either it's in one of these areas of rural America where the county police are stretched too thin and don't get through there all that much. So people, a little bit looser with the way they conduct business in that part of town. So those places are attractive to organized crime and that sort of thing. Now, the fact that they have a police department, and you and I are in agreement that that's ridiculous, that reeks of organized crime. That reeks of someone paying off somebody in Austin to get this little city a police force. Why? Because if they control the police, then they can control who gets arrested in that town. If there is no police force, then the county, which is out of their hands. But if they can just see, look at what we got. This is Copland. You remember the movie? Remember the movie Copland? Sylvester Stallone, about the New York City police cops who basically lived right over the bridge in New Jersey and owned that town. Anyway, go ahead.
So one day this guy's doing a security detail in the apartment complex, and he's having an issue with one of the visitors to the complex, and he gets punched in the face. So he calls in to the local authorities, demanding that they come out here and write up a report. And they said, okay, so this guy punched you in the face. Do you have his ID? Like, does he live there? Do you know who he is? Do you know his name? He's like, no, but I have a description of him. They're like, well, what does he want to do? Just come report like a stranger in a blue car, punch you in the face, and drove off? And he's like, yeah, you're not willing to do that? And they're like, look, man, you guys call us a lot. And it's always for chintzy stuff like this. And you claim to be off-duty cops. Tell you what, we're busy dealing with real crime. You're a cop. Can you just write it up for us and turn it in?
And we'll sign off on it.
Okay. And so we find out that this guy who went from being just a policeman in Coffee City to the police chief in Coffee City. And this is where I want the TV station to pick it up. This is from KHOU in Houston. I do not have permission to play this, but just in the interest of, public affairs and whatever. Just whatever I'm supposed to legally say here to use this stuff. But now it's about to get amazing. You think I'm just starting.
It's news. We're covering a news story in the interest of the public.
Yeah, public interest. But all right, it's about to get amazing.
Coffee City, Texas, a small town of about 250 people and 50 police officers on the force.
Our investigative team dug through records and found half of those officers had been suspended, demoted, or...
I want to hear that again. I need to hear that one more time. I need to hear that from the beginning. Are you kidding? Go ahead. What?
Oh, man, I'm so good at setups. Here we go.
Coffee City, Texas, a small town of about 250 people and 50 police officers on the force.
Our investigative team dug through records and found half of those officers had been suspended, demoted, or fired from previous jobs, some even criminally charged.
And Jeremy Rogowski discovered the man who hired them can have a short fuse when dealing with others who wear the badge here in Harris County.
All right. Before he gets to the Houston part of the story, look how deep we are after like 11 seconds. That was...
What is that? There's one cop for every 10 people?
5 people.
What is it? 5? Yeah. 50? How many people are? Okay. Oh, 250, not 500. That's right.
Yeah. So for every 5 people, there's a policeman. There's not something untoward toward that. What is the tax base possibly? Anyway.
They all have cars. Jeez. Oh, let's get down there and do a charity where we try and raise money for like vests for the 50 cops. Let's go.
Hang on. All right. It gets dumber.
Coffee City's police chief routinely works an extra job 200 miles away at this Houston apartment complex. And on this day, watch how John J. Portillo behaves.
I'm about to call Garcia and tell him he's going to be this next election.
It's an expletive-filled rant launched at the elected constable of Harris County Precinct 2, Jerry Garcia.
I'll call Garcia right now. Tell his Portillo
wanted Precinct 2 to file charges on a man he says assaulted him at the complex.
Hang on. Did you notice the sweet goodness? The guy's name is Jerry Garcia.
I did.
How stupid are we going to get here?
I was going to interrupt, but I'm so
many requests.
This is the dumbest thing you've ever heard.
Constable says
I got something that's even
coming
dumber.
in from off-duty Coffee City cops.
Which at first was, no big deal. We help anybody.
Hang on. I'd also like to point out in the timestamp up here. What is this? This is Valentine's Day. Isn't this romantic?
Many requests, the constable says, kept coming in from off-duty Coffee City cops.
Which at first was, no big deal. We help anybody and everybody. But then we noticed that it was becoming a pattern.
That pattern, the constable says, was draining resources. So Garcia reached out to the Harris County District Attorney's Office.
And we were advised to tell Chief Portillo that he had to file the charges.
But when deputies did just that, Portillo left a nasty voicemail.
And your captains, lieutenants, or whoever those numbnuts are that you have working for you, tell them your guy's not to help us out.
It saddened me. It upset me to hear that. This isn't something small. This is pretty upsetting.
What upset the constable even more, the response his agency got back after alerting Coffee City's mayor. I don't see very much there that warrants any disciplinary action from the city, the mayor wrote. The officers are contracted by the property for off-duty police protection. You may want to reach out to them with any complaints.
Didn't think that it merited any disciplinary action against him. It's crazy.
Greg Freeman is a Sam Houston State criminal justice professor and retired Houston police captain.
Basically, you're enabling bad behavior now. And that's exactly what the mayor has done.
So what does Chief Portillo have to say for himself?
I was amped up. And I apologized to my city council. at city council.
Did you apologize to Constable Garcia?
No, I haven't had a chance. I haven't talked to him.
The cussing incident happened 6
Wait, hold
months
on.
ago.
Pause,
Is
pause.
that the real John J.
Sure I'm all
Portillo
caught
that
up and I'm
people are seeing
following
in this
correctly.
video?
Okay, so
No.
this guy who's like, I apologize to my city council. That's the guy who's a part of the 50-man force in the city of 250 people, right?
This is the police chief.
Of the 50-man force for the
Yes,
city
yeah.
of 200, and they also have a city council.
The mayor. Yeah.
For 250. Well, that sounded like there was an entire board of people. Okay. Sounds like, here's the good thing. Sounds like everyone in this town's getting involved. All right, go ahead, let's play.
Everyone, yeah. It's 6 degrees.
Months ago. Is that the real John J. Portillo that people are seeing in this video?
No, I don't just go off the handle.
Well, you did here.
Yeah, because I got socked in the face. I was mad. I was red, and I was upset because they wouldn't help me file the charges.
It's not the only example we found that calls into question Portillo's character and integrity. In his application to become Coffee City's chief, he never listed this, a DWI charge out of Florida in which he failed to appear in court. Why wouldn't you disclose that, Chief?
Didn't disclose. It was over 10 years ago.
You had an active warrant.
Huh? That was disposed of.
No, it wasn't.
DWI in
Court
Florida.
records show the day after our interview, Portillo hired a Florida defense attorney who filed a not guilty plea in the case. From the looks of it, you weren't being truthful on the application to which you hold the job this day. Chief?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, but that's not what it is. I'm not being truthful.
I'm not being
forgot?
truthful.
I put down everything that was in my mind when I filled out my application to the best of my knowledge.
Well, that same job application states there are criminal consequences for lying on a government document. Len and Mia?
Okay, so there's more to this investigation tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow we reveal how some Coffee City officers were working full-time right here in Harris County and how the chief suspended that division after we started asking questions.
We'll see that tomorrow night. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right. So thank you very much for KHOU for that report. Tales from Bug Tussle.
Yeah, man, that sounds like outside Los Angeles, there's a little rural city that's sort of like right on the border called a city of industry. And there's all kinds of like real seedy, like shell companies based there and, boiler rooms and that kind of thing. And it sounds like the city, Coffee City, is just the rural version of that. Like every big city has a little town on the outskirts. It doesn't really, make any sense. Kind of like the 200, again, for people just tuning in, 250 people in this town, 50 cops in this town. James lives in a city of about twice that size. No cops, no cops. It is under the county's jurisdiction. Coffee City, 250 residents, 50, probably full-time too. I'm guessing full-time with benefits.
No, they're not all full time. I think the vast majority of them are like part time, adjunct, whatever.
James, do you know about no-show jobs? Is that something that
I do, but no-show jobs are best depicted in what, The Sopranos?
Yeah, or the news of the 70s and 80s. I mean, if you just watch the news, there was always somebody getting busted for, no-show jobs. But no-show jobs are like political. They're political handouts, they're building a new project in this congressman's district, and he's, some construction company has given him 10 grand to make sure that, they get so many jobs, but that's a mobbed up company. So now the mob part of the deal is, okay, so you're going to get the job, but there's going to be 10 positions there that you're going to give to us, and we're not going to. So, but no show, there's no show and no work. No work means you have to be there, but you don't have to do nothing. You can just like hang out, and you still get a full-time paycheck. No show means that you just don't have to do anything. I have a friend, and I've talked about him on the High Noon Show. I have a friend who's a current friend who has probably a couple no-show jobs. He makes like $400 in food stamps every month. They send him this card. He's got a card that just gets recharged $400, and he drives around in a Porsche. So, organized crime is alive and well in this country.
All right, you ready for part 2 of this saga from KHOU?
There's a part 2?
he said tomorrow we're going to play you the update on the whatever. Well, that
I
was
thought we had to wait. I thought that was a
Nope.
cliffhanger. Go ahead.
This is KHOU from yesterday.
A KHOU 11 investigation leads to changes at a Texas police department.
This week, we've showed you how the town of Coffee City, 3 hours north of Houston, is a magnet for cops with troubling backgrounds.
Now the chief is temporarily shutting down a division that works here in Harris County after Jeremy Rogowski questioned whether it's legal.
Coffee City, Texas. A dot.
Hang on. I would like to point out that in this map right now, see about where this white car is?
Yeah.
That's where I would live. In fact, I'm going to Coffee City tomorrow because that's the closest liquor store to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's sort of my default liquor store. That's how close this is to me.
On the map with barely 250 residents has a police force of 50 officers, 5 times the number of cops than
All right,
any other Texas town.
Go back
its
to that word.
size.
Go back. Hold on.
And
Go back.
that's-
Go back. It's driving me nuts. This kind of bad journalism drives me insane. I'll tell you when to pause it. Pause it on the city sign, okay? And where the guy says barely 250 residents.
Okay.
Jeremy Rogowski questioned whether it's legal.
249.
All right. Here's what he said. He said the city of Coffee City with a population of barely 250 people, and then they show the sign and it says 249. Does this moron not know what barely means? 249 is not barely. No, lazy effing journalism, dude. I find it every damn day, and everything from the Washington Post or whatever. Bad sentences, run-on sentences, words that don't make. Okay, continue. This idiot reporter is he doesn't know what barely means. Go ahead. Sorry.
Coffee City, Texas. A dot on the map with barely 250 residents has a police force of 50 officers, 5 times the number of cops than any other Texas town its size. And that's not the only thing unusual or odd.
Turns out there are a half dozen full-time Coffee City police officers who don't even work in Coffee City, Texas.
There you go. There's your first answer.
All right.
Let me go ahead and pause it there. You asked the question. You got the answer. Half a dozen full-time officers, but they don't work in Coffee City.
Oh, well. Those sound like no-show jobs.
All right. We continue.
Instead, they work from home, more than 3 hours and nearly 200 miles away in Houston.
It's hard to believe that is happening.
Greg Freeman is a Sam Houston State criminal justice professor.
I've never seen anything like that. There are 100 questions that come to my mind.
Who are these officers? This internal email shows they're part of a warrant division. It reads, there is no need to go to Coffee City because you will be spending 95% of your time on the phone, calling people who have outstanding warrants and collecting failure to appear fines. And because it's a full-time position, there's an added perk.
It gives them the ability to go work an extra job.
Coffee City Chief John J. Portillo concedes they're on the books as full-time because state law only allows full-time cops to work extra security jobs. At this Houston apartment complex, some Coffee City warrant officers do just that and make more than $50 an hour.
They work 2-3 days a week, 4 days a week.
But is it all above board? The warrant division is a performance-based division, and officers' pay is based on the failure to appears they collect.
They're basically bounty hunters in a way.
Freeman says that amounts to a commission for collecting fines.
It doesn't make any sense. From an ethical perspective, it just screams questions about the legitimacy of what they're doing.
That's because state law requires full-time peace officers to get paid at least at the federal minimum wage. But again, at the Coffee City Warrant Division,
The court gives them $150 for each warrant that they clear.
So they don't earn a salary apart from that $150
No, sir. No, sir.
a head.
Correct.
They get.
Correct.
Okay. Is that legal?
I believe so.
Well,
2 days after our interview, Coffee City PD changed course, sending out this email to warrant detectives that said, Due to unforeseen difficulties, the program has been suspended until such time as I can make sure that we are in compliance with labor laws. So whose job is it to police the police? The Department of Public Safety enforces any extra job violations. The Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, or TCOL, has the power to suspend or revoke a peace officer's license. That agency confirms to us it does have an open investigation into the Coffee City Police Department.
That interview raising a lot of eyebrows, Jeremy.
A lot of eyebrows have been raised. 2 are attached to my forehead. James?
How long would they have gotten away with it if this dude didn't piss off some constable in Harris County? How many of these are going on right now and they're flying under the radar because their police chief isn't some idiot that pisses off a high-ranking constable in a much bigger jurisdiction?
They violated the #1 rule of successful organized crime, and that is don't draw attention to yourself. This idiot drew attention to himself when he got into a little thing with a dude, what they say, a blue Chevy in an apartment complex. He would. This is why you can't hire hotheads. It's the great dilemma that mob capos have faced.
Right,
the hotheads are good at the crime. The hotheads are good at the crime. They're just not so good at keeping their cool in public.
Right, because the same guy that you need to get so mad that he's willing to crack skulls has a hard time keeping it under wraps when it's not time to crack skulls.
Right, and that draws police attention.
Yeah.
All right.
So I see a story like that, and I think, is this the only instance of this happening? Of course not.
No.
So, is this happening in a dozen towns in Texas? Is this happening in 100? Is this happening in
James, I mentioned this. This is the plot line in the movie Copland. It's a town that is completely run by these corrupt cops. They've created the police department. They're all full-time New York City cops. But then also when they go home, they own this town, and they are also Sylvester Stallone is the idiot cop that they put in place as the chief of this little town, and all the New York City cops that live there own him and control him, and it's crazy. This is the same thing. Yeah, this is a real thing.
Give me a summary. What's Copland?
Okay.
You can't assume everyone watching the show right now has seen.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Here, check this out. This will show you. Very good movie. Very award-winning movie from like the 19. Here you go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to share screen. Yeah, there it is. Right. We did.
Sharing?
Full screen?
Yeah, full screen. Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
This is Copland. It's almost the same story.
In the city of New York, a crime is committed every 8 seconds. But just across the river lies a quiet town called Garrison, New Jersey, where New York's finest return home.
The hero cop, unwilling to trust the system, jumps from the George Washington Bridge. Today, he is laid to rest here in the cemetery at Garrison, New Jersey.
So what brings you to Fair City? I heard it was a way of life out here. Thought I'd check it out for myself.
De Niro, Keitel, Stallone.
It's a place where the sheriff wears the badge, but the cops own the town.
My jurisdiction ends at the George Washington Bridge. But half the men I watch live beyond that bridge, where no one's watching. I'm watching. Effectively, the sheriff of Copland.
He always dreamed of becoming one of them.
All right, yeah, you get the idea. It's sort of like the same. It sounds like a crooked town where the cops are being controlled by other cops from elsewhere or some unnamed organized crime entity. Whichever. It sounds like Copland, just the Texas.
Is that a true story or based on a true story?
Well, it's no, that is not a true story. But yes, there have been. Yes, these are towns that exist all over, especially the industrial Northwest. There are these working man towns that are filled with union cops. Ohio, Pennsylvania, and they own the town. Cicero, the town of Cicero is adjacent to Chicago. It borders Chicago, but it's where a lot of crooked cops and that kind of people live and operate businesses that are just under the radar because it's a known crooked town where you can get away with stuff, especially if you're a cop.
So I'm dying to see what happens. This story is it's not going to go away in the fact that they're just going to go back to business as usual. Like around here in Buck Tussle, we don't have anything else to focus on. You know, there's not people getting murdered in the streets every day.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you updated on this because this.
I think that we should follow it. I think that we
Someone's
should
going to jail, and I got to go to Coffee City tomorrow. I'll take a picture.
Stop by the police department. Hey, Phil, a couple of seconds. I need to refresh my drink, and then I've got a video I want to lay on you. So,
okay,
hold on. We've got a video breakdown we got to do.
Okay, so when you go to Coffee City, it is strange because if you've never lived in a dry county, what that means is you can't buy packaged liquor in this town, and you have to go to the next county over to buy it, and you'll be on a highway or a major road, and the second you cross from a dry county into a wet county, there's a little city there. It's a little oasis, but it's not a real city. It only exists because all the liquor stores built something right there. And then what happens is next, after the liquor stores build, then gas stations build. And then after the gas stations build, pawn shops build because the alcoholics come, pawn stuff, and then they go get their
Wasn't
liquor.
that Dukes of Hazzard kind of like that? Wasn't that like, Roscoe Pete Coltrane and Boss Hogg? Didn't they had some kind of corruption going on there?
Yeah, that's everyone's archetype for small town corruption. But that they didn't hire 50 cops with no-show jobs that were working remotely in Houston.
We don't know.
I didn't see that episode. Maybe
Boss Hogg had Dixie Mafia written all over him. Okay, James, one of my favorite things to do on this particular show is, we don't do it often, but we do it from time to time. We like to break down a good fist fight between two civilians who have lost their cool in public.
God, I love this. Yes, please.
Well, I got a good one for you tonight, James, because tonight is the rare chick fight.
Oh,
chick fight. James, can I up the ante for you a little bit? It's not only the rare chick fight.
They're white.
They're kind of hot. It's kind of hot chick fights. Let me tell you what's going on here, or at least as I see it.
I have never seen an Asian chick fight, by the way.
No, not an Asian chick fight.
And I'm not asking for one. I'm not saying for a chick from India to beat up a chick from, Chinese Taipei or whatever.
I don't think you should be apologizing for calling for diversity in chick fights. I think there's nothing wrong. I think it's admirable. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not calling for it. I'm just saying I would sure as hell watch it.
All right, so let me explain what's going on. We're going to let this play out in real time, and then we'll come back and, we can break it down and watch it if you want. But let me explain what's happening here. This appears to be a bunch of chicks who are at a concert, and they're all liquored up. You can tell because they're slurring their words. One of the chicks, okay, so that's all you need to know. All right, they apparently know each other. Somebody probably, that's my boyfriend, you know what I mean, or whatever. Probably that's what's going on. We don't know because they're drunk and they're screaming at each other and they're at a concert. All right, so here we go. Awesome chick fight. Hold on, here we go. All right, make it big for you.
First, ready? I called it. They're white.
They're white, and they're at the porta potties. I guess this venue doesn't have permanent bathrooms. Here we go. I'm getting out of here. No. All right, hold on. Here we go. One woman. One woman. Oh, kick her right in the face. I want to. Bam. Is that, huh? All right. Now we'll go back to it. Hey, questions, thoughts? James, the floor is yours.
Well, we all have this tendency. It's not just me. I know it's you, and I'm not talking to you, Pugs. I'm talking to the people watching. I know it's
the royal you.
The royal you. I know you have this tendency to watch this, and the first thing you're trying to decide is, who am I rooting for?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know. It went back and forth. And that's what makes it a good fight. It's like when you watch two teams that you're not from either city and you have no affiliation. Who are you rooting for? I don't know. It goes back and forth. Hey, maybe the Jets can pull it off, or some other team I don't really care about. So that's kind of the feeling I got. And I was really amazed that by the end of it, I'm not sure who I was rooting for.
Well, that is exactly the feeling that I got, and I agree with you entirely. After I'd seen it only once, but I've watched that fight probably 5 times, and there is absolutely somebody who's okay. So here,
hang on, Joseph Beard, give me credit. They were white, weren't they?
Right. there he goes.
Right, and Jeff Ballard is saying something that should be in the White People Bible. Whenever I publish the White People Bible, I think I'm going to take up that project sooner or later. Ain't no law when you're on the White Claw.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
I get it. It's like yoga crack, that White Claw. It's like, or
basic white girl crack is what.
Yeah, it's yoga crack. Okay, so let's watch it one more time, and we'll break it down a little bit. We'll stop it, and I'll show you what's going on here, at least as far as I've been able to. What's Zapruder film the hell out of this?
All right, I'm going to go full screen on this like this.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's get rid of us. Let's make it as visible as possible for people. All right, so here's what we got. This is how the thing starts. Girl in the pink here seems to be the aggressor. The girl in the white appears to have just came out of the bathroom.
Wait. So this is important. The girl, how do you know the girl in the white's already done?
Going to the bathroom? I don't. I'm taking the clues.
Because if she does, why would the pink girl have beef? I assume girl in the white cut in front of the girl in the pink who had been waiting on a toilet. No.
Understandable. No, let me stop you right there before you waste everyone's time. They know each other. This is beef about what I think is happening based on, I've been wearing headphones listening to it. I can make out a little of what's being said. I believe the pink girl in pink is confronting the girl in the white shawl. And we're going to call it a shawl. Girl in pink is confronting the white shawl about the girl in the white shawl talking about her behind her back. Now, I believe, and this is all I believe.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all.
Okay, well, it's coming up, and so let's listen to. I'm
gonna try turning it up. Tell me.
Yeah,
if it's too loud.
It's hard to hear, but you can hear words that would lead you to think that's what they're talking about. The girl in the white, she seems to be coming out of the bathroom, and the girl in the pink seems to have followed her to the bathroom and waited for her to come out, and that's when all hell breaks loose.
Who was talking about who?
Okay, the girl in the pink. Here, we'll play it. F you do not talk about me, and then I lose it from there. Okay.
Okay. Is that
so here? Let's hear that again. F you do not talk about me. And she's drunk, girl. Okay, and now the girl who just came out, now she's like, okay, she's smiling at her the way you smile at somebody who's being weirdly aggressive, right? You know that look? She's like giving her the like, okay, you want to go? And now, James, tell me, let's watch it again. I'm not sure who makes physical contact first. Nope. Okay, yeah, it's the pink girl. Okay. So now what happens next is the girl in the white doesn't like being pushed, and she pushes her back, and then we're off to the races. So watch it again. Here we go. All right, now.
You're talking on the perfect frame, man, because this turned into a Saturday Night Live / Monty Python / Kids in the Hall skit. With this broad who just got done with her pee break.
We don't even know she's done. All we know is the door has been flung open.
We know she's done because her pants are pulled up and she had partially opened the door to leave, and she got a little assistance from the girl fight that is happening in front of her. And she really has no idea what's going on.
Hold on, I got to do that again. Break it down. Oh, yeah. Okay, James is absolutely right. The door was open. As a matter of fact, girl in the white shawl was stopped by the open door. Good eye, James. Very good. That's awesome.
That's a classic girl pose.
I love this girl.
You're allowed to do that if you're a girl. If you do that, if that's your reaction, if you're a guy, I will make fun of you.
Yeah. But as a girl, it's like, All right, so now somebody else is getting involved. Now, we got the original two, and the one in pink and one in white, and now we got another girl who's getting involved, except she's got to find someone to take her drink. So she's going to pass her drink off to a stranger. Let's see what happens. There you go. Okay, there's the handoff.
Now that's funny. I missed that the first time around. Hey, can you hold this rando lady? I trust you with the music festival honor code.
I gotta whip some ass. All right, now we should still be, because I'm not entirely certain whose side she is on. I believe that she may be on the side of White Shawl, but we'll see. Unfortunately, Cowboy Hat Girl, she's in the line of fire. So let's see if she escapes without anything bad happening to her.
Nice boots.
Nice, yeah, pink boots.
Yeah, pink
Very
boots.
nice.
Okay.
Oh, she got out. Okay. All right. She got out.
Now here's what I'm watching. Does the chick get pushed into the toilety part?
Okay, let's go back again. Let's see how well she's in there. All right, there she goes. She is definitely being pushed onto the commode, James.
Oh, it's so hard.
But not in it. She is resisting that.
Yeah, there's one handoff.
All right, now here we go. Let's see what happens, because now we've got a third girl getting involved. Cowboy girl is getting out of there. All right, so it actually appears the girl in the black is helping girl in the pink. Would you agree or disagree?
Okay, but what are they trying to do? Push her into the toilet or something?
I think they're just trying to curb stomp her. They're just trying to beat the snot out of her.
I like how nobody has their legs covered for more than like an inch and a half below their hip line or whatever.
All right, now let me introduce you to a best supporting character who is showing up now, and that's this dude in the red. This guy here.
Well, I'm also keeping an eye on the lady in the foreground, the free drink lady.
Go ahead. I have not actually examined her throughout the course of this, so I don't know if she plays a role, but I do know that the guy in the red does, and he's very turned on right now. He's thinking he's enjoying this.
No, not with poo involved.
All right, now this is important. So
this is the equalizer. This is the great equalizer of the game. Yeah.
This is the Hulkster running out of the locker room and jumping into the ring and whipping everybody's ass. This is what she's doing. Watch this girl go, man. And by the way, again, keep an eye on dude in the red, because he's trying to touch boob and stuff. You'll see. All right, so he's pulling on a top. It's like he's pulling on the strings of a top.
Wait, and is foreground girl handing the drink off?
Yes, she has ceded responsibility for the drink. I think she doesn't want to be involved.
Okay.
All right, so now you got white
outfit girl. They're all white girls.
Yeah, white outfit girl is pulling pink girl by the hair, while creepy red guy is pulling her top string.
I missed that the first time around too.
He isn't trying to break it up or save anybody from getting hurt. He's trying to get her top off.
He's not the hero we asked for, but the hero we deserve.
He's the one we deserve. That's for real. Look at him. He's like every dude who has ever showed up to a radio remote alone. Right? Oh, I love this.
She's got love for both of them.
Who was that? All right. So this is the original aggressor. She's whipping the crap out of her. Right now she's going back in. Now she's gonna get the hold my drink girl.
Look, this might be the only punch that lands all day, and they're both getting it at the same time. She's actually getting hit in the face right here while she's hitting the other girl on the side of the head.
Maybe but you know what? She's like the Korean zombie, man. She's just walking right through it. She doesn't care. She's being way more aggressive. So this is hold my drink girl who's getting pummeled right now. Remember her from here? Remember her from like just a few seconds back when her life was fine and she hadn't been punched in the face yet? Here she is. This girl right here. Here she comes. Yeah, life is good for her right now. Not so much here. There you go. Okay, now out. Did you see? That's White Shawl Girl. That's the original White Shawl Girl. She gets in a lick on Hold My Drink. All right, now. She's going to get kicked right in the face. Look at this. Okay. All right, now, here's what she says. This girl right here is obviously very afraid of this woman right here because this woman's whipping some ass.
As well, she should be. She's also in a submissive position.
And what she says is, I was only trying to help, which leads me to think that maybe she wasn't the aggressor we all thought. Maybe she really was trying to help. Let's see. She just got caught up in it. She said, I was trying to help her. A guy in the red is still trying to get some boob or something. He's pulling on her shawl. What's this guy doing?
Well, he tries to prevent her from.
Yeah, really think that's his prime motivation?
I don't know what's going on. He's trying to figure it out. I don't want to ascribe bad intentions like he's just a pervy rapist.
Look, I saw him try and pull a girl out by the string.
And it worked, didn't it? Didn't he remove her from the situation?
It did. It really did. Very good. All right. I want to see Wonder Woman here. I want to see what she looks like. Let's see if we can phrase it on her, right? Because I want to. Okay.
Hey, what's going on with the Blues Traveler hats? All right. Look, observation. I went to a concert last year where it was someone and then Elle King and Chris Stapleton. And Elle King, Rob Schneider's daughter, is known for wearing that hat. You see those two hats? You don't see a whole lot of other people. Blues Travelers wore it in like the 90s, and now it's all Elle King that is wearing it these days.
Yeah, it's a John Popper hat. It's like what he would wear.
Okay. So when I went to that concert, I guess it was Elle King fans. There was like 1 out of 10 girls were wearing that hat.
Really?
Yeah, and so clearly,
do they look cute in them? I mean, I don't care. Whatever girls want to do fashion-wise.
It was actually a good look. There was a lot of those hats with girls in like a little sundress and then cowboy boots, which seems like a weird combination. Yeah. But if you're an Elle King fan, it was about 1 out of 10, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot when you're in some random Coliseum in Shreveport. And you see that many hats. You've never seen that many John Popper hats before. So I would throw down money on who's the most likely one of the acts at that concert. Elle King.
Yeah, maybe.
Find out where this is at, and I challenge you. That I bet Elle King was in the lineup.
James, you want to talk about a crazy look that I've only seen here in Texas, and maybe it's something y'all grew up with. I don't know, but I've never seen it, and it is nuts. And so my son and I, we spend a lot of time hanging out on the SMU campus because we're right here. It's walking distance, right? We can go to football games over there. And what?
So when I lived at like Meadow in Greenville, some apartments there, was not far from the SMU campus. My default grocery store was at Tom Thumb at Lovers.
Oh yeah,
Lovers in Greenville.
Sure.
And that's the default campus for all the women that go to SMU. And you will break your neck walking through there.
Oh, yeah. It's all just beautiful, gorgeous, rich girls. It's all daughters of men who married retired supermodels.
Because I went to ETBU, East Texas Baptist University.
Bunch of ugly people there.
Well, no. It's about 1,800 people, and the women there just blew my absolute mind, right?
Yeah.
The women of SMU, even better.
Yeah, no, SMU, it's a special class of genetic, anyway, my point is this. All the girls lately around here are wearing these little cowboy boots with these little cowboy hats. And then they're doing like a Barbie thing. There's always I go to a lot of high school. I go to a lot of high school football games. And, the girls all get gussied up as best they can for the games. They all look like cowboy Barbie girls. And they're all wearing these boots with like little mini skirts. It's a cute look, but it's like, really, it says Texas hot girl. It's like,
it's huge in Bug Tussle as well.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it. I mean, not that I'm lurching after them, but what I'm saying is, all right, so this is important. This is the wrap up. So you asked, what's with the Popper hat? I don't know. Who's in the popper hat? This is apparently the father of the girl in the pink who started the whole thing.
Wait, how do you know that?
Because, as I said, there is a conversation going on
okay.
here, and I can hear part of what's being said. And she, Shawl Girl, who was attacked by Pink Girl, walks up to this person and says, "Your daughter," you can hear that, and she's explaining what happened.
Okay,
and she says, "Your daughter," and then some of the episode. So I'm thinking maybe the daughter's like a little bit nuts, and everyone knows she's a little nuts because that's what this girl says here. Listen, we'll see if we can hear it for ourselves. Your daughter had a Hannah Santa episode, is what she says. See it one more time. Hyper something episode, it sounds like she's saying.
Man, you are good at this game. Yeah, she said
don't
something
know.
like that. I missed that the first time around too.
Well, there you have it. Well, you did crack the code. I guess we are going to go with that being an what's her name?
King.
El King show. Okay, that makes sense. They seem to be the kind of people that would go to something like that. Dad looks like a Rob Schneider fan.
Nobody.
Hoping he might show up. All right, I got nothing else. You got anything else? Here's something that I'd like to talk about. Hey, I just wanted to throw this past you because I think it's absolutely hysterical. No,
Okay.
It's not hysterical. It's frightening, but it's like, this is the world we live in, and So you know how like the Russians tried to put a rover on the moon a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, like crash landed didn't work, right?
It blew up on the moon, and it was kind of a global embarrassment for.
I think that's one of the things where I saw the headline, but I didn't read the story, so I don't want to get over my skis here.
Yeah, no, it was a big deal. It was like the global scientific community kind of had a big laugh because everybody's taking shots at Putin, and he's already feeling like he's under the gun. He's got people. It was embarrassing for Putin, is basically what I'm trying to put there. Well, James, guess what happened? Guess what happened to the chief rocket scientist who was in charge of that? Guess what happened?
He got in a car wreck and died.
No. Even stranger. 1 in a million. Who'd have thunk? Apparently, this man of science accidentally ate a poisonous mushroom and was poisoned to death. The guy.
Oh man, tragedy upon tragedy. Boy, the poor Russians just can't catch a break, huh?
Yeah, it's too bad. This. The other thing coming out of Putin this day was, Prigozhin has been officially declared dead by the Kremlin, but now there's a video out of Prigozhin going, "I'm not dead," and it's
That's the Wagner Group guy.
Yeah. People don't know if it's he's claiming in the video that there was a body double on the plane and that he's alive, but it could be a deep fake. Nobody knows yet. You want to watch that video? Here, let me show you that video, just so you get an idea.
Prigozhin.
Here. So this is dead Wagner boss seen in new video saying all is fine as conspiracy theories grow. Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin was killed in a plane crash last week, 2 months after he tried to bring a coup to Moscow. But now a video appearing to show the military man alive has fueled conspiracy theories. All right, let's check out this video and see. I don't know. I can't tell. Hold on. How do I do this? Why is it paused? There we go. Let's share this. All right, James, do you think you're any good at the whole, you can tell if it's, what do they call it? Deep fake or whatever? Because I don't know. I think that most of the shit that I see that's supposed to be deep fake is actually pretty obviously, bad. Yep. Here we go. Wait. Oh gosh. Why is there no sound?
Here, let's start it over.
For those discussing whether or not I'm alive, how I am doing. Weekend, August 23. I am in Africa.
Нахожусь в Африке, поэтому любители обсуждения моей ликвидации, интимной жизни, заработков или еще чего-нибудь, собственно говоря,
as a matter of fact, everything is fine.
Все в порядке.
All right, now that's some Cold War Russian stuff, man. To be confusing the issue to this degree, where people don't really know, is he alive or is he not? Did they kill him? Did he not? What do you make of that?
Man, I have no idea. That looked pretty convincing.
It looks great. That's why I said I feel like I can typically tell when stuff is like deep fake. That looks great.
Okay, it bothers me that at all times the stuff in the background was blurry and moving. Like that's just like you can't get one freeze frame where something's not blurry. And I don't know. I don't know. It's just nah.
Hold on, I'm trying to put the closing theme on, and I can't. It won't come up. There we go. Yeah, you could have filmed by telling people about, like, I don't know, Florida stories. Why don't you do that?
What did you hear about the soccer rape? Can we do a soccer rape story real quick?
Soccer? Two things I absolutely hate. Go.
I know, soccer and rape. It doesn't get worse than that. Okay, so what we have here is Spain beating England in the Women's World Cup.
Oh, are you talking about the Spanish soccer chief?
Yeah, and so he runs out and
right, soccer rape. Go ahead.
On the lips, and now it's like a rape. And you know, come on now. Are they going to show it? Hang on, this is.
Yeah, I find this to be absolutely absurd.
Okay, so you know about everything, don't you?
I do a noon show where I talk about all the events of the day.
So Hermoso is one of Spain. I think she's a midfielder, and the president of the Spanish Soccer Federation kissed her after the team's victory without her consent. That's what it says right there. If it doesn't show it here, then this is a waste of video.
En primer lloc, donar
This is
tot
gonna
el
be
meu
inspired.
suport incondicional a la Geni i a les jugadores del futbol femení pel que estan visquent en aquests moments. En segon lloc, condemnar
Secondly,
la
I want to
conducta
condemn the
del president de la
behavior
Federació Espanyola de Futbol,
president of Spanish football.
que em sembla totalment inacceptable.
I don't know what's going on.
I per últim,
What are we doing? Fast forward. Do they show the video where he's like congratulating them all and then suddenly he just kisses one of them?
I guess so, man. But here's a weird thing. Like when I go and hang out with my wife's family, and they're from South Mexico, like the girls, when I say girls, I mean like 12, 13-year-old girls who are in the family. Whenever they show up at the family dinner and there's like 20 people around some big, dumb, long table on some patio. We're always outdoors. I don't know. It's all weird. And she'll run around and literally just go around to everyone in the table and kiss them on the cheek, and the person there will kiss them on the cheek too. Not that it's any big deal, but where I'm from, we don't do that. What's with all the kissing? Y'all get a hold of yourself. I don't want some strange 12-year-old girl kissing me, and I ain't kissing her back on the effing cheek either. Y'all can, whatever your sensibilities are. Yeah, it's totally
you project your culture's associations with kissing with other things. Other cultures associate it with, kindness and love and family and that kind of thing.
They associate it with just a basic salutation, apparently, in some cultures. And I'm not going to hate anybody for doing it. If you want to do it, go kiss around all you want. I ain't going to kiss around all I want. I just, leave me out of it. Just think I'm a weird American. That's fine. Hell, I'm from Texas. I'm even worse than that. And so whenever I see something like this, where the president of the Spanish Football Association kissed a midfielder when he ran out in the feat of jubilation, this is not akin to rape. Okay, people, get a hold of yourself. You freaking weirdo Europeans are always kissing each other on the cheeks, and it always freaks me out. Yeah. So look, if it happened in America within like American confines and, societal rules, you may have a case to make, but you throw like the European weirdness, y'all have like topless beaches and you dudes wear Speedos at public pools and stuff. Don't tell me you're really offended by a peck.
Here, well, it's not that. It's about the power dynamic in a man.
The president who kissed a player on the lips after the Women's World Cup final says that he won't resign. Luis Rubiales kissed Jenny Hermoso after Spain beat England on Sunday.
Why is it so hard? Never mind. Forget it. We're not going to look that hard for the video. I can't believe the video can't be found.
Well, it had to be scrubbed because you can't put rape on YouTube, Pugs.
So here's an interesting question. You just said that what if that happened here in America? Because I could definitely see the American women's soccer team. They're very hashtag, me too. They're, whatever. Hey, that women want that women. Hey, it's their thing. Whatever.
I'm reticent to put
no issue.
a mode of thought on a team of 20 people because not all of them think like.
Of
Megan
course not.
Rapinoe, and not all
absolutely
of them
right.
think like me, and they're all individuals who have there is no team thought.
Yet they have been branded a certain thing. Anyway, so let's say it's the American team, and let's say that it's like a Spanish coach or an Italian coach, and he's from that culture and that world, and he does the same thing. And by the way, we didn't get to see the kiss, but it wasn't a French kiss or anything like that. It was just like the way you might kiss your daughter. It was like not sexual. I thought when I heard the story, I'm like, oh God, was he so excited that he tried to, shove his tongue down her throat? No, it seemed to be a cultural kiss. So let me ask you this. So in America, when the American woke girl is outraged by the guy from a different culture who accidentally kisses her, again, a familiar kiss, something like that. Who's the bad guy? Is the guy the bad guy because the unwanted kiss makes him a sexual whatever? Or are the girls the bad people for not respecting his culture and somehow shaming him for his culture? I wonder who the bad.
Well, it's their culture too.
No, his culture. Look, this is what we always say when we defend.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
I said Italy. Let's say he's an Italian soccer guy in America.
Let's say where's he from? Because the guy
he's from Italy. This imaginary person is from Italy. Do you see what I'm saying? Look,
the guy that they had
for his culture, he doesn't think there's anything wrong with kissing a girl that way because that's what his culture says. Yet it's okay to tell him that his culture is wrong. If you were trying to tell anyone else's their culture was wrong, it seems like you might have the world come down on you. But in this case, I don't know.
Well, in the guy that they had where they got the soundbite from, that Xavi guy, he is a dude that is from Spain and played for FC Barcelona. And I know him because he kicked some ass for me a lot of times when I was playing FIFA, and he's like literally Spanish. So if this guy has an opinion on it, he's speaking from a guy with the base level of the Spanish cultural norms. And so if he said it was okay, I kind of lean toward that. I know that's not really fair.
You got to know the room, right? I mean, I don't know.
Well, Gianni Infantino, doesn't that sound Italian? But
I think that when we deem when these people need to lose their jobs and we deem them terrible people for these acts, I think we need to consider intent, and we never consider intent. Was his intent to dominate her sexually and make her feel weak and vulnerable? Fuck no. I mean, this is the madness of this whole thing, but that's okay because it doesn't matter what his intent was. It's what happened, and he's a man, so let's just run him out of town on a rail.
Okay. So I looked the guy up that played it. I mean, that made the kiss.
Luis
Rubiales. Yeah. So he was born in the Canary Islands, which is Spanish territory. He was raised in Motril in the province of Granada, which is still in the mainland of Spain. So he is Spanish through and through.
He's
so
culturally Spanish, and so is the team, by the way.
Right. So there is no thing where he just didn't understand the mores and the values of the native country for which he was working.
No, but also they should understand the values and the culture of the place they're in, and they don't get to just make a hard right turn because Alyssa Milano started the he said, whatever hashtag. It seems like there should be some understanding on both parts that the intent of this man was not, again, to make her feel victimized or vulnerable, but he was just expressing what is a natural thing in their culture. Oops, sorry, I forgot it wasn't 1985. That's the big crime. Yet he'll never work again in international soccer, and he had rose to the level of chief of Spanish soccer. So, but whatever, we don't care, right? Screw him. He's a bad guy.
Also, I would like to point out the greatest comment we've ever gotten on this show. Al says, "You guys are awesome. I got to admit at this point, James, I think you could beat Chuck Norris. I saw him. He looked pretty worn out. Thank you."
Yeah, Thank
you. I know it sounds fantastic for me to say this, but Chuck Norris.
I have got my poetry.
You done? Chuck Norris was born in 1940. He's 83 years old.
Still whip your ass.
I could beat the husky snot out of him It would be so. 83. It's okay to admit that I can beat up Chuck Norris.
No, it's not, because you can't, and it shows a wild disrespect for the ability to hurt people. You don't know how to hurt people.
None. I have no respect for Chuck Norris's ability to hurt people anymore.
No.
None.
All right, goodbye. I'm drowning you out. We're all done here. All right, bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at high noon for the High Noon Report. I don't like to talk over the music because it turns out scrambly sometimes. See you tomorrow at noon for the High Noon Report.
Things are going good.
Gotta go. I'm gonna make the camera dark now, but I just want you to know it's not anything you said or did. This is a me thing, okay? Good night.
To be on guard, that is understood. It has been a journey, a multi-answer test. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day, the best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I have got an old guitar, that is all I need. I don't need no 401, I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day, the best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I can smile a little now, things are going good. I always had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.